Here at Queensland Raceway for round... Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars. We're here at Queensland Raceway and it is going to be an incredible night of drifting action. Myself, Jared McLean and Tegan Peck going to bringing you some of the action out here tonight. Tegan, your job tonight, down in the pits. What are we planning?
Yeah, we're going to be down the pit lane checking out all the results after the rounds. We'll have a couple of chats with the guys as they come in. We'll try and catch as many stories as possible. Make sure that if any action goes on or misaction goes on out on track, we have a chat with the guys and find out exactly what's going on.
Well, of course, coming off the back of round 1 at Sydney Motorsport Park, a heated final between James Abbott and Ben Barnes, the season rookie.
Yeah, it was very cool to watch. You know, it all came down to that final bit, and they ran it. And Ben Barnes, he put on one hell of a show and really gave it to James Abbott, but James Abbott came away with the win.
James Abbott, of course, one half of the Hi-Tec Blaze unit. Now, we have qualified the drivers, and just to spice things up, after setting our qualifying up, we decided to throw our top 4 out back on track for a shootout. And it was an incredible affair. Scott Shembry, originally qualified in 3rd, was able to take home top spot, putting him right at the top of the battle tree. James Abbott, the second half of the Hi-Tec Oils Blaze unit, finds himself in 2nd. It's going to be an absolutely incredible event. What are you really looking out for?
You know, we're at Queensland Raceway, so much can happen. We've seen it last night. You know, they took a bit to dial the cars in. We really started to see it come into form as they went on through the night. I'm really hoping, you know, Ben Barnes right up there towards the end of round 1. I want to see some underdogs really put it to the top guys and put it all down to the final battle.
Well, let's find out a little bit more about what goes into judging tonight's competition.
Hey guys, just want to give you a quick rundown on what we as the judges are looking for in tonight's battles. Firstly, The lead car, the whole job for them is to actually run a 100-point line. Get out to all the rear clipping zones and hold them out there as long as they can with max angle and max smoke. And then secondly, we want the chase car to be able to emulate, or if not improve, the line and angle of the lead car. What we're going to do, if the lead car has a mistake or anything, they're probably going to get penalized a little bit more because it's going to be hard for that second car to actually chase them down. So really, a lot of the proximity and the angle is based on the lead car doing a really good lead, and then the chase car being tucked up right in the pocket on the other guy's door, switching close, and make it look absolutely awesome, and they'll get advantages from that area.
Your Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars battle tree up on screen, and we have some rock-solid matchups happening. Looking forward to seeing Daniel Flood and Joel Dimnak making their way out. Jackson Bradbury and Cody Davies, also another one that we are keen to see. Scotty Nelson, it is going to be one heck of a night. A little bit of rain earlier on, so changed grip conditions out there.
J-Mac, it is absolutely wild to be here tonight at the Hi-Tec World's Drift Stars here at Queensland Raceway.
Queensland Raceway, not a track that these guys have run too much here this season, and we are kicking things off with our first matchup. As we get things underway, our leader, looks like issues there for our chase car. Daniel Flood has basically got this one all on his own in the Holden Commodore Ute.
Here we go, he's back on it now. He's found some pace. Got great angle there. Snap through. We're looking for that outside zone. Is he going to be able to hold it out through there? Right through that clipping zone is what the judges are looking for.
Manages to get it done. And Flood undoubtedly taking the points for that one. Issues there surely for Joel Dimnak. And really unfortunate to see the Nissan, I think it was, not getting off the line.
That was hard work there for the first run. That really was a rough start. He's going to have to come back with something special there.
Absolutely. But watch on as the big Ute for Flood Automotive goes solo.
Look at that power there. Here we go. Getting onto it now. Right out through that clipping zone again. Chris Frome, this is what they're looking for from the judges.
Into the final sector now, and it is all lock, stomp and steer on the way out through what is turn 6 here at Queensland Raceway.
Tell you what,
good to see that still a bit of smoke being generated out here on a greasy surface.
He finished strong there. That was fantastic coming on in turn 6.
So Dimnak is just going to trundle this one out the back as we have shots up on screen of the big Falcon. And wasn't this something to follow last night? Really floaty all through the layout.
And you know I love these Falcons.
So looks like Flood will take to the start line here. He'll be in the chase position. We'll see if Joel will join him here in the first of our battles here at the top 24. And we are sending cars out ready for the next one.
So I wonder what's happening with Joel.
Yeah, hard to tell. Obviously, he has to do the majority of a lap to get back around to the start point here. But you can see shots up on screen. It is a blistering run all the way into that first right-hander. They need to get right out onto the outside for the initiation point and try and hold it. It's a tough one, turn 1, because you need to get the entry started nice and early, but you don't want to push yourself too deep into the corner because there is actually an apron, a painted green apron, that if you get both wheels out onto that, massive, massive issues as it tries to launch you straight down towards our Zoo Performance transition.
Well, that's not what you want to see. Now, what have we got going here on screen? Just driving through.
Yeah, so I'm going to hazard a guess. So we have some great drone footage. The smoke in front of the light tower. So Flood should be taking home win points on this one. And we'll task Tegan, our pit lane reporter, with the job of trying to find out what happened with Joel. Really unfortunate to start the night off like this. And this is an elimination format. You have to get through each battle. This is no second chances, Scotty.
This is going to make it very, very hard. And you can see here they're trying to get a little bit of heat into those tyres. And with this wet surface tonight, this is going to be really important for their preparation.
So the big Falcon about to take to the line. This is Chad Larkins.
Getting ready to throw down here tonight. This is what we want to see. Big power, plenty of speed into this first entry. Can't be any hesitation.
This was another of our drivers that actually really transformed over the course of the night of practice and qualifying, not really able to string all the zones, all the clipping points together. And by the end of it, he just had full trust in this thing.
I think it was really wonderful last night, the fact that they got a little bit extra time in practice, because I certainly noted that they were struggling with the course initially. There's some really technical shifts there. But as they started to get it, late there into the evening, we were starting to see it link it all up and really throw down.
Yeah, 100%. There was a number of drivers that just clicked with it straight away and were able to give the judges exactly what they were after. And then there were others that just incrementally had to just build up to it. And by the end of the night, the majority of the field were on song. So Chad Larkins out up against Jackson Bradbury. Oh, my apologies, I'm getting this one mixed up. Jackson Bradbury's our leader up against Cody Davies.
And we had a bit of handbrake there on the initiation. And here, from the air, we were very excited to get the drone up tonight so that we can see how they're holding through that outside clipping zone there through the horseshoe.
There they go. Good run from our chase car, keeping nice and tight in the pocket, just breathing in the smoke.
And that's what we want to see. We want to see them tucked up, right up in there on the door.
So here we go, the S13 in the chase position. Let's watch him in this early part of the run. How soon does that big ute get things started? The forward-facing brake light just lighting the track up.
That's it. And we saw a big chunk of handbrake there for that initiation. That's a really good chase there. But again, you can see that big Falcon stepping away. Once he gets the power down, that thing is really pushing.
Well, they crossed the line, and we're going to head on down for our first chat with Tegan with the results.
Yeah, so Joel Dinmack knocked out of that round. The car didn't really seem what it needed to be. What happened out there?
Yeah, so we're just struggling with throttle body issues at the moment. So we think we've got a dead throttle body. This engine is a VR38 from an R35 GTR. So it's got twin throttle bodies, which are electronic. And once one dies, the tracking falls off, and then it completely shuts off. So it either works perfectly or it doesn't work at all. So.
Yeah, a bit of a shame there for Joel Dinmack. A little bit of work to do before we head to the next round.
Thanks, Tegan, as we get ready for our second portion of this battle.
So I've got the Falcon here, and really what he has to do, he's got to get in there, and he's got to get in tight and emulate. You can see that wastegate flame kicking out from under the car, but he's a long way behind. What is going on here?
Absolutely. Cody Davies just launching Dolby's car away.
Sent it. But the Falcon's pushing now. Hang on, no, this is not good. That is off track. Did we have contact there?
No, but it was the closest thing. So a tough line to try and follow. It's going to be an interesting one for the judges to try and deconstruct that one. The big gap from our chase car to our lead car as we check the Tri-Ace replay. Look at how much ground the Nissan pulls on the Falcon.
He's just out of there.
Nice angle there on the initiation, and the Falcon just nowhere to be seen. But this is about where it starts to go wrong. Through the Zoo Performance touch and go, and wide. Collects a couple of the bollards there in that drip zone.
And you can see that all the wheel speed was gone. It had just all washed off.
So a tough one to try and chase here for our second battle of the night.
And that's a perfect example. I mean, he had that run to himself. Could have held it out there in the Sylvia, kept it out in front, but let it go halfway through.
So, again, a tough one for our judges to try and nut that one out. Already an interesting matchup. We look forward to our top 16 a little later on between James Abbott and Daniel Flood. That's going to be one to watch. James Abbott did a brilliant job in qualifying last night, but up on screen, the big Send It Ultra Energy Falcon.
Send it, he does.
Oh, absolutely. So we'll wait for the results on that one. So, looks like the rain's holding off, which is great for absolutely everybody, including us, even though we are in the shelter of race control. But how do you like it? Underglow Flashing lights, strobes. That is all your style, isn't it?
And look, I've got to tell you, I did note to the drivers last night in practice that I really wanted to see more underglow. If there was something I could ask for more of, it's more lights.
Absolutely. Come on. Everybody needs more lights.
I think so. When we're running here at Queensland Raceway at night, you've got to light these.
You've got to take every opportunity you can.
That's what I want to see. And again, lit up on the inside, underneath, flashing. This is what drift is all about. It's all about the style of the sport. It's one of my favourite things. It's why I love it.
So Jackson Bradbury getting the win over Cody Davies in that last battle, and will progress through to his top 16 matchup with Glenn Omerod. Glenn was another one that was just picture perfect all night long in qualifying and practice.
He's on it, and again, you can see them there. This isn't just for fun. We're not just doing little burnouts here for entertainment. We're trying to get a little bit of heat into these tyres because they're running semi-slicks here. So you've got your Tri-Ace tyres as our series sponsor, and we want to see what they can throw down with them.
We basically want to see them convert these things to smoke as quickly and as and aggressively as possible. Gearing up for the next matchup here, as we still have a stack of drivers. Scott Shembry coming on out.
Now, Scott was on it all night in practice. I'm expecting big things from him.
They don't call him one half of the Blaze unit for no reason. Scott Shembry, your top qualifier, taking on Dane Loco.
That's big power. We've got a lot of speed there into this first initiation. This is what we were seeing all night. Look at that, on the power. He is there making clouds.
Nice run through the Zoo Performance touch and go.
Oh, from the air, look at that. Held it all the way out. Judges are going to be impressed with this run.
That's a hard one to beat.
That is on song, and look at that distance. Couldn't even get on the door.
Loco's got a tough job on his hands to try and match up. Here we go, watch this. The pace that Shembry's able to put on is just wild. Loco hazing the bags just on the run-up into the initiation. A couple of little dabs of the brake there just to settle the car on the entry, and then it is all fog.
That is just full noise, and have a look at this, holding. Oh, little twitch there, but really got the power down to hold through that outside clipping zone.
Great run through the finish there for the Hi-Tec Oils 350Z.
That is a picture-perfect finish.
Unreal. So we'll switch them around, and Loco will be chasing down, or rather will be leading out Scott Shembry, our seasoned veteran. He's been around since the OG days, Scotty.
This bloke has been kicking it since I was a young man. He has been playing this game for a very long time, and he's going to show a few of these whippersnappers how it's done.
It's been a long time since I've been part of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift Allstars circus. Back in 2019, I was lucky enough to run with these guys as a pit lane reporter. And I got to say, Scott had a variable sort of history with this twin-turbo LS combo. Now, as I come back into the fold here, they're saying we've got this thing exactly where we want it. It's playing the game. It's reliable. It does everything we need.
You can see it. They've got it dialed. And again, when they put the hammer down, that thing just makes clouds. But not only that, you can see the precision.
Yeah, Scott's definitely able to throw down inch-perfect lines.
And back-to-back as well. That was the thing that really got me, as I was watching practice and qualifying. Back-to-back-to-back.
These guys will be putting on fresh tyres after every single lap that they throw out, rather after every single battle that they complete here. Just waiting for Dane Loco to make his way up to the start position.
And you've got to imagine there wouldn't be much tyre left after one of those runs. What sort of, we're hitting big wheel speed here. I sort of heard 250 kilometres an hour is the wheel speed that we're getting.
Wheel speed, that wouldn't be out of the question. On the entry into turn one, it's not uncommon to see 150 Ks. In actual ground speed.
That is big speed for that initiation. Here we go.
So Dane Loco
lining up.
And not too certain what's going on. Loco's calling a 5-minute, so they'll head back to the pits, try and work out what's going on. That's where our man on the ground, Teague Peck, will come into play. Loco moving very, very slow. Scott not hanging around at all.
This is not good to see. This isn't what we want. Scott, we're ready to throw down. And there's certainly something horribly wrong there. This limp, he's certainly got the car moving, but there's something very wrong.
It's almost like it's stuck in too high a gear. Check the camber out on the front of this thing. That is wild.
I'd be able to see it better if there was more underglow.
So he's going to push this thing back out into the pits, and we'll see what the problem is for Loco.
Even though he's just rolling through, I've got to tell you, I love checking it out from the air. It really makes it so much easier for everyone to see how these drivers are holding it through that quite technical course.
So here in the pits on screen, one of the major improvements there. A quick shot there of Kieran Ratcliffe. Second of those cars waiting to be released out on track. Here comes Loco.
Well, at least he got back to the pits under his own power.
So Loco, a Queensland local, as we move on to our next battle.
Let's go. I want to see that speed coming in here. Have we got it up? Oh, that's a big push. Oh, a lot of front lock there. But fantastic angle. Look at it go. And then on the door as well.
Yeah, nice proximity there from our chase car. Ben Hodges up on Ricky White. Ricky White putting down a good lead lap. Bit of an adjustment there on the back half of that drift zone. How tight do you like it?
That is door to door there. That was very twitchy. I wonder if we're trading paint there.
Ben Hodges doing absolutely everything he can to try and leave some rubber on the bodywork.
You can see how hard these guys are working. I mean, that was really a tough run.
Watch the way their lead car squats the rear on the throttle. Look at it just drop onto the rails.
That really is a sensational lead run there, getting it going. But here it's these little twitches. I don't know if you saw them, where there's a little bit of inconsistency there as we're trying to set up for that final transition.
Slight adjustment there, but I got to say, all eyes on our chase car. Ben Hodges fulfilling the brief.
Now, I know they don't get any points for that big smoke show on the finish, but I'd love to see that every time.
I like it. Drifting's all about impact, and unfortunately, looking like some issues down there. Dane Loco has the rears off this thing, and they are checking it out.
That is hard work. Let's hope that they can get it back together to get it out there. So what, they've got 5 minutes.
Yes, 5 minutes from making it into the pits to work on the car, and we will find out where we stand for that final section of the battle with Scott Shembry and Dane Loco.
Well, with time ticking down, let's hope that they can figure this out. Very strange that they're working on the rear wheels there. I'm really trying to figure out what's going on here. This is a very, very strange. I was wondering whether it was a clutch issue, but the fact that they're working on the back of the car there, and they've got it up in the air as well.
Yeah, so they'll be working on that one frantically as we look for the lead lap here for Ben Hodges. Right. Hodges, hailing from Queensland. This is his home track in the Zoo Performance Machine.
A bit shallow there, but he's starting to dial it in. Can Ricky get up on his door? That's what we want to see here tonight. Good angle there past the Zoo Performance checkpoint. Let's see if they can get it done all the way through.
Ricky White trying to do everything he can to close down the proximity.
Yeah, Ricky's having trouble closing the gap there.
Through the finish, and Ben Hodges all class from front to back. So we check the Trias replay. Hodges just got off to a great start there.
He really did, didn't he? He's got this going.
Aggressive initiation, big drag of the handbrake to set himself up for the corner.
And then right on the power to get it out there. Here, as he tucked in past the Zoo Performance, that really was a good transition. This is textbook stuff here as he gets it out.
Yeah, great angle there on the central section of this drift layout. Out through turn 6, underglow ablaze, and we are 2 minutes and 40 seconds into our 5 minute for Dane Loco. He's got the helmet back on by the looks of things, so he's about ready to get in. We'll find out, hopefully, what was ailing Loco to make him cause his 5 minute call.
Let's hope so, because there's not a lot of time left.
We'll head down for more info. Tegan, what have you got?
Yeah, so just chatted with Dane Loco down here in the pits, and what had actually happened was they adjusted the handbrake leading into this battle, and then he just said as he was going through the course, it just started to stick on, so he brought it back in. He'd actually lost gears because of the handbrake, so he's just brought it back in, adjusted it in the car. It still seems to be sticking on a little bit, so we'll see how he goes and how he goes getting back out there as the time starts to tick down.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one to try and recover from. Scotty, can you imagine it? In the heat of battle, and you have to come back, analyse the problem, fix the problem, then get your head back in the game.
This is tough, and to come back from something like this is going to be very difficult. You can see the trouble that they were having there, spinning the wheels manually. These guys, I think they're going to struggle here, mate. I think we're in trouble.
Loco trying to pluck gears. He's managed to find reverse, but he's shaking his head, and that tells a massive story in itself.
That shake of the head was a man who knows he's in trouble.
Just watching on. And Loco, this is heartbreaking as we tick up the 4th minute of his 5 available minutes. Gee, you have to work a miracle.
They really do. They really are going to have to pull something out if they're going to get back out there for this run. Otherwise, I think this is over.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Look at them trying to lean on this thing to get it back so they can actually grab first.
Oh, I can feel the pain from here. This is really tough.
Some problems there. The dashboard showing. He's trying to actually find neutral, find reverse, and it looks like he's shut the thing off. There we go.
Here we go.
Turning it off, unloads everything. He's found neutral. And let's see if he can make his way out to take part in the second part of his battle.
Here we go. What's this? We are on the countdown. 5 seconds to go.
Tight.
There's nothing in this. Oh, we're rolling. He's under his own steam. Are we on?
He's got to make his way out to track in a timely fashion. But I got to say, Queensland Raceway already the setting for some wild times.
This is just unbelievable. We really saw cars just going one after the other all night last night, and then here we are getting the thing started. They're really having trouble.
Absolutely. Loco. Look at it. This thing, there's nothing stock left on that thing. Maybe the roof. That's about it.
That's certainly a drift car that's done some work.
Absolutely.
That's been pushed more than one time. All right, we've got some action here. We're rolling back out on track.
So James Abbott coming on out for his run up against Daniel Flood. Flood doing it in the Commodore Ute.
This will be a great run, and I must say I have been enjoying. I did spot 4 Utes in the lineup last night. The Australiana out here, I think, is absolutely fantastic. It's something we can celebrate here at Queensland Raceway. It's wonderful to be seeing all this tremendous drifting here in the drift state.
Abbott campaigning the 2JZ powered S15, another veteran, been around since the OG days.
He certainly has been playing this game for a while.
Daniel Flood bringing out the good old VS.
And here into the tyre warm-up zone.
How's this? Abbott coming off the back of a round 1 victory against Ben Barnes and about to put this machine to good use. Into the warm-up zone.
Get some heat back into those tyres, get it ready to go.
Had a great performance in qualifying and a great battle up against Scott Shembry. Shembry really getting through that battle in our top 4 shootout on the weight of his chase on James Abbott. Was right on the rear quarter.
Well, he's certainly got that experience. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to push and get it up on the door.
And the interesting thing to note, obviously, when you've got someone like Shembry out there hazing the bag so hard, you do almost have to drive by Braille, and you can only really do that with someone that you trust. Let's get into it. James Abbott leads out Daniel Flood, and Abbott piles on the speed.
Here we go. Look at that wastegate flame. This is what we came here to see. Big power, big entry on the throttle.
Yeah, Flood really late on the initiation there, drags the rear out to the apron and struggling in the VSU. On the other hand, Abbott just so smooth through that central section.
On fire. This is what we want to see. What a run from James Abbott.
Nice tight finish there for Abbott. I'm saying that because the guy was gripped up. No trace of any greasiness out there. As we check the Tri-Ace replay, Abbott just ran away with this.
He just sent it. I mean, look at him go. I've got to tell you, he's not even there. We want to see the chase up on the door, and we're just not even there. This is just 2 cars rolling through. We're being shown how it's done. You watch this from the air, that's picture perfect. That really was hitting that outside zone from end to end. He had the proximity all the way through.
Yeah, nice and tight on the bollards there.
Oh, textbook.
And the aftermath of that run there from James Abbott. Make sure you like us on Facebook. Search Hi-Tec Drift Australia and follow on. Share the link around to your friends. Big g'day to anyone that is watching at home. Shout out to all my WA guys. I know you'll be on the live stream.
It's great to have you here.
It's great to be here, mate. It's been a long time between drinks. Bit of a party happening out on the hill with our judges putting in some hard yards, trying to decipher some of these battles.
And that is the spot to be. When we were here for practice and qualifying, up on the hill, that's where you really want to be for the action.
So, news to hand, Loco has retired, handing a run into the top 8 to Scott Shembry. And here we go. Flood leads out Abbott.
Now, this is where we want to see Shembry right up on the door. We want to see him pushing all the way through.
Yeah, James Abbott struggling for the proximity there.
That's
got
an
odd line.
Untidy. Let's
Flood
see.
slowing up there in that outside zone. And early.
And we've had a real twitch there coming into this final turn.
And not to speak out of school, but I got to say, definite style points there to James Abbott, working with the best that he could sort of muster in terms of the lead run there from Daniel Flood. We'll check the tries replay. It was a tough one. James Abbott normally arriving into that initiation point with a whole lot more speed.
And I think that that's really what's caught him out there, the fact that he's come in too slow and he hasn't been able to get that angle on it.
That being said, a pro driver still needs to be able to chase the line that he's given.
Well, that's it, and you want to see them really pushing up in there no matter what they're given.
So the judges will hand out their result in just a moment. But here we go. We're talking about Australiana. This is right up there, the AU Falcon.
You can't spell Australia without AU.
Absolutely. This thing is undoubtedly going up in value as the years tick by.
Look, just quietly, that's a collectible car right there. And then we've got the R33.
Yeah, Kieran Rackleft started qualifying as we saw that result there. James Abbott takes the win over Daniel Flood. Rackleft will head us out into turn 1.
Like, I'm going to have to apologise to the Skyline fans. I called that an R33. I'm really going to be in trouble here.
Absolutely.
But boy, oh boy, look at him throw it down. That's what we want to see from a lead run. Here we go, from the air, this lead run. So there's the outside clipping point, holding it out, a little bit shallow there. But we're going to tuck it in. And what a lead run, he's just left him behind.
Yeah, a little bit of an awkward transition there coming out of that outside zone. But Rackleft was far and away ahead of the chase car there.
I really wanted to see big things from that AU Falcon, and that wasn't quite what I was looking for there. So it'll be very interesting to see how we go on the second run.
Young Kieran made the transformation last night from hardly being able to link any of these points out on track together. Look at how far back that chase car is. And this is the bit that I was talking about with Kieran. Big moment there, big straight, and not able to get the transition done in one smooth move.
That was hard work.
Down to Tegan in the pits.
Scott, we are down to the pits. Obviously, teammate James Abbott just pulled back in. You didn't get to get the full run done with Loco retiring. Had a little bit of rain earlier on today that's caused a little bit of, a bit of tough stuff there going into the practice. Was there much you had to do to change heading in there?
Look, we sort of just left the dry setup because we were watching the radar, saw that it was going to pass. So it was pretty sketchy out there. Unfortunately, Dano had some dramas with the car, and he had dramas with his own car yesterday. So unfortunately, we get to finish the battle. But look, we move forward and keep pushing forward for tonight.
All right, thanks, Scott. Good to chat with you.
Great job down there in the pits, Tegan, having a chat with Scott Shembry, our top qualifier from last night's action. Kieran Rackleft now coming into the chase position up against the AU XR8.
Let's see what he can do here. Let's see if we're going to get that speed into this first initiation.
Yeah, Chad Larking's not able to really get the ground speed up that Rackleft was able to run. But Rackleft doing a great job. And this is where a good chase really comes to the front. Tough line to follow.
That's hard work. There were a couple of little corrections there mid-corner, and then as a follow, I mean, that's really hard to stay on their door.
Yeah, you have to admire what Kieran's actually able to throw down here with the lead.
Because I watched him have to pull back there as well.
Able to modulate that speed and not cause any dramas. Ratcliffe in that chase position, doing a fantastic job, plucking gears on the run down into the initiation. The Resolution tyres XR8. Having a tough time out there.
That's hard work. You can really see it, and making it very hard there for the chase. But again, you can see chase car pushing in, getting in nice and tight here. We're looking for that angle, and then again, turn 6, final turn, big torque, get it back on the door.
Yeah, Ratcliffe at great proximity. Down to Tegan for more info.
James, took out round 1, heading into round 2. You've just moved on to the next round. You went up against Daniel Flood. How was the car out there at Queensland Raceway?
Yeah, I mean, we're having a ball out here. I'm not making it easy on my team. You can see them working really hard behind me. We had a bit of a crash in practice, which knocked us out for a lot of the practice. We got it to a point where I can steer the car again. But going up against Daniel, it was really good. I didn't know how hard to go, but he put on a really good lead for us. He's a bit slower than I was, so he made me work for it. But yeah, it was fun.
All right, James. Well, good luck with the rest of the night.
Great stuff from down in the pits with one half of the Hi-Tec Oils Blaze unit. And it's a real family affair down there. How good. Next matchup, about to hit the track. And this will be the Commodore Ute in the chase position.
All right, looking at that speed. Coming in hard. That's a great entry. That's what the judges are looking for.
Spin out there for Chris Sadler, and it's all Flash Smith.
Well, Flash has given it here. Now he's just got to hold it together.
Nice and wide. Out through that outside zone. A little bit awkward on the transition. But if there's one thing Flash Smith knows how to do, it's lock, stomp and steer it out of a stage.
That's it. Finish strong.
Up on the replay, and Smith drops the hammer. Relatively composed. Looked a little shallow through the midsection of the corner there, but gathers it up nicely. Our chase car already spinning out by then.
That was all over. It was right up on the door. Then he was gone.
Yeah. Here it is. There's that awkward transition into the final sector. And Flash Smith, undoubtedly, with top points for that one out of those two. Shots on board, or rather down in the pits of Kieran Ratcliffe, just checking out underneath the car. That skyline.
These teams are working hard in the pits here tonight, aren't they?
100%. That's what a good crew is able to do, really prop up their driver. And it was great to chat with Kieran's mum and his spotter throughout the course of qualifying last night. So he's back in the car and he's going to head back on out. That's the steering wheel in the skyline.
Got to be honest, I'm not sure what's going on there. Is that adding grip or taking it away?
Well, I mean, it's got a bit of everything. Oh, well, whatever works.
Feels like it might be a tennis racket.
So here we go, Flash Smith, assuming the chase position here after a fantastic lead run by comparison. Big start there from our starter.
All right, Chris Sadler in the lead. Let's see what he can do. Throwing down. Good push on the power. He's suddenly walking away. That's what we want to see.
It's a far better run through that first corner than what we saw last time around. Checks up, slows up, and Flash just has to hang with him. Super tight. Problems there for Flash, not really able to follow on. Drops a wheel on the exit there. It's an untidy run from both drivers, Scotty.
That really got a little bit awkward there towards the end.
Yeah, tough one indeed. Flash Smith, there in the chase position, had to check up his speed, was nowhere near what the lead car was throwing down there, especially coming out that outside zone. Here we go.
Great start to the run.
Look good on the run now into the Zoo Performance touch and go and into the outer zone.
And here's where it just started to get awkward.
Yeah, Flash gathers a whole heap of pace and proximity and then just had to check up.
Chris Sadler there, just letting it go before the end.
So, we'll wait for the result on that one. As it's all happening in the smoke, just lingering here at Queensland Raceway. Here at round 2 for the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars. Qualifying all done and dusted last night. The party continuing here in the pits. And drifting under lights. There's no better way to do it.
Honestly, under lights, at night, nice cool air for the cars. It's as good as it gets.
Absolutely. So checking in with our start line now. Do you reckon he's going to give us another big start? Or was that just a something he reserved for Flash Smith?
Look, I really hope so. I love that full noise. I want to see that big speed initiation.
So how good is it when the crew gets involved?
Always a good time.
Matching underbody on both of these.
It's like they've been listening.
How good. As we get set to send them out.
All right, here we go. We've got the S15. You can see that wastegate flame there. We've got some power coming down.
Yeah, this was James Abbott just running away from the chase car. Unfortunately, nowhere to really be seen. That was Daniel Flood. And Abbott just stonking through that outside zone. The judges want the transition here to be nice and snappy.
And you can see that experience from Abbott. That
100%.
was a very tidy run, wasn't it?
So this is what we want to see. Battles already stacking up, ready to go. We'll check our drivers on the line as we get ready to send them. Kieran Rackleff doesn't look like there's too much of that skyline left. This is Sam Mudge and Benke Brun. Mudge gives us the lead.
Nice and close there. Let's see if he can keep it in for that.
And this is on, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Mudge throws down nice and wide out through turn 1. Looking for that aggressive flick. How's the proximity from Brun right there, Scott?
Brun right in on it. This is sensational.
That is a great run from both of them. Mudge putting down a supremely chaseable line.
Now that's what we came here to see.
Benke
What a run.
right there with him too. Let's check it out. Mudge on the run down into turn 1. Screamer pipe out the bonnet. Where else would you have it?
Flames at night? Can't beat that.
100%. Benke Brun doing absolutely everything he can and succeeding. How close do you want it? Right on the door through the outside zone.
Right up on the door. That is sensational driving.
Through for the finish. And that one, look, if it came down to me, I'd be so hard-pressed to try and pick that one.
It's a good thing we're not in the judges' team. That's hard to pick.
That's why they're doing what they're doing, and we're up here talking, you know what.
Indeed. And we're back in the pits.
Back in the pits, shots of Omerod. He was a class act all through practice and qualifying. We yet to see him out on track for his battle. Omerod will be coming up against Jackson Bradbury, but first, let's go back for part 2 of the Mudge and Brun battle. They'll change places.
Let's see what they can do.
Mudge, let's see if he can chase as well as he can lead.
Certainly hope so.
Absolutely. So just holding him there on the line as we get set to prep him.
Here we go. Let's see if we can get that speed. There's a lot of speed going on here. Looking for a big initiation.
A couple of little grabs of the handbrake there for Brun. And Mudge having a straight.
Struggling. What's happened here? He's come off.
Less than ideal. It's just going to hand it
power.
all over.
What's happened?
Benke Brun, after putting down a stellar chase run, basically gets a free pass.
To just send it all the way through.
That is heartbreaking. I wonder what happened there for Mudge. We have a bit of fireworks out here at Queensland Raceway, as if there wasn't enough action.
They're lighting the night up for us.
100%. Now what we need to do is combine fireworks and drifting on track. Can you imagine?
I'm absolutely ready for
A
that.
couple of Roman candles. Can you imagine sending one of those through the driver's window?
I think they'd really appreciate that.
Spectacular sights here at Queensland Raceway as the pit's starting to quiet down a little bit. Looks like our neighbours are responsible for that show. How good.
Isn't that fantastic? There's a lot going out here at this precinct tonight.
Got to say, big thank you to everyone that's involved with this one, and make sure you jump onto Facebook, like Hi-Tec Oil's Drift Allstars, as we get set. There's a couple of choice matchups that are starting to form up, and having a quick look, that run has indeed been handed over to Benke Brune, taking the win over Sam Mudge with problems there in his chase. Brune just threw down as we go back to part 2 of the Ratcliffe battle, and Ratcliffe just checking out from the ute.
He's all the way behind here. What is going on? We want to sync him up on the door, and he just hasn't had that speed into the initiation of the run.
Yeah, Chad Larkins had a tough night last night in practice and qualifying. He did himself a real service coming out, throwing down as hard as he could, but it's a big floaty car.
It is a big floaty car, and he's bringing it home, but I just don't think that that's going to do it.
Unfortunately not. Kieran Ratcliffe just running away with this one in that Skyline. The young gun doing a great job. Shallow on the angle there in the early stages, but able to hold it out wide. Picks up some serious pace on the exit in towards the Zoo Performance touch and go. Out nice and wide, and a good line through that outside zone. Look for that snappy transition. There it is. Sets himself up well for that final sector.
That's it, and then just brings it home onto the main straight.
This is going to be a good one.
This is a matchup I've been looking forward to. That 8.6, there's a lot of consistency coming out of this car.
Of course, Ormerod, under the tutelage of Bo Yates in the early days, he's basically guided him through cars ever since his karting days.
Well, that's it. And Bo Yates is quite the legend in the Australian drifting scene.
100%. Fun fact, or rather, little-known fact. Glenn Ormerod, born in the front seat of his old man's Falcon XB, as we'll just set them back for a couple of moments. Let's have a chat. Tegan, down in the pits.
Yeah, just down in the pits with Sam Mudge. I'm going to have to really lean up here to get the microphone there, but the chase run wasn't really what you were looking for. You dropped off the pace a little bit. What happened out there?
Just coming into out of zone 1 there, car just oil pressure cut. Hasn't done that all day to me, so not sure what its problem is there, but not a fan of that, unfortunately. That sucks.
Yeah, so back to the garage, try and work out exactly what's going on and prevent it again?
Yeah, pretty well. I think we're due for a new oiling system. It's making a fair bit of power for that standard sump, so it is what it is, and congrats to Benke on going through.
Well, hard luck there for Sam, and we'll head back up to the pit box.
Well, there we go, Sam Mudge with a bit of heartbreak there. Oil pressure system just giving up on him.
It's not the way you want your night to go, is it?
Absolutely not. So here we go. Kieran Ratcliffe.
Lined up, ready to go. Let's send it and see what happens.
That poor start line cone copping an absolute bashing. So Chad Larkins leading him out.
He's setting it up. Kieran Ratcliffe, you want to see him right up on the door, and he's doing it, but can he hold it?
This is what I mean. You saw that ute get out onto the painted section, and it doesn't set you up well for the Zoo touch and go. He's managed to hold it together for the outside zone. And looking for that transition. Ratcliffe doing a great job.
But they're both working hard out there, aren't they? That is tough.
And this is the thing. You've got to look at everything we're saying through the prism of we're two guys. I don't think I can do this. I couldn't do this.
I can promise you I can't do this, but I can certainly watch it, enjoy it, and talk about it.
How good. Larkins was our leader for that one. You see getting right out onto the painted surface of the exit of 1.
They just need a little bit more speed. Really needed to snap through that transition.
To Ratcliffe, doing a great job there in the chase position on our Tri-Ace replay. You see him just trying to close up that corner and gain some proximity.
And he's right there. He's right on. He just wants to be on that door.
So Ratcliffe collects the win points and will progress through to the next round of battles. He'll find himself up against Benke Brune as we check out Glenn Ormerod up against Jackson Bradbury. Bradbury in the chase.
And Ormerod are expecting big things here. Look at this. There's plenty of speed coming in. That's coming in hot.
Ormerod was really smooth through qualifying. Little bit shallow there on the Zoo Touch and Go. Not quite able to get out, but Jackson Bradbury nowhere near in terms of proximity. Muscling that big FG Falcon Ute around and making it look cool while he's doing it.
And Ormerod bringing it home.
That thing is the smoke machine.
That is a great car.
How good. Let's check out the replay here. And Ormerod just piles on the speed. Flick to get things started.
Look at that. He's got the angle. He's got the wheel speed. He is on it. That is a beautiful technical run there.
Yeah, Ormerod with a long-standing history in racing.
What I really like there is how he held that all the way out through that horseshoe there, through the middle zone.
Well, let's head on down to Tegan. What have you found?
Well, Benke, I have done a fair bit of pit reporting in my time, and I've seen a fair amount of drivers get animated, but usually for the wrong reason. I just watched you get super excited after that top 16 run. Tell us all about it.
Oh, mate, look, all day I have been struggling with this car. So I was meant to be driving an S13. It's like 340 horsepower. The most horsepower I've ever driven personally is like 600, and it was a grassroots car, yeah? So driving Odge's car today and having like 8 laps total, or 8 laps total including yesterday and qualifying, I just didn't feel comfy at all, and I was really concerned going into the chase that I was going to suck. And to come out like with a win and to drive the car how I know I can drive is just like, it's second to none, man. Oh, I feel amazing.
That is the great stuff that we want to see in racing. Back up to you boys in the comms box.
Benke Brune really doing the drifting community a service by just getting excited. Ormerod out on track in the chase position.
And this is where we're really going to see if Bradbury can push it out, because Ormerod's going to be all over him.
Here we go. Bradbury piecing together a nice first corner there. Nice and wide, good angle.
Big angle out of the Ute. This is some good driving here. This is actually a great run. He's really throwing it down.
Let's check it out. A little shallow on the inside of the corner there, but not quite able to get out to that transition point.
He's got a lot of lock there on that Ute, though.
Yeah. How good.
All right,
Watch Ormerod here. He wasn't able to really get right up on that rear quarter.
I was really expecting him to push up on and really give him a touch-up here.
There we go. Still nice proximity there, but starting to fall back on the run out of Zoo.
And trying to reel him back in.
And he's got the power to do it. The Ormerod Automotive 8.6 is a weapon. Really close there through the middle of that last sector.
And not a lot of visibility through those clouds.
Not at all. So we'll wait for the results on that one. Judges dropping their scores in. 3 judges here tonight. Chris Froome, Tim Schultz and Andrew Worth making the tough calls. As the win goes to Glenn Ormerod, and he will go through to the next battle. Under lights, the smoke just lingering. Not really much in the way of breeze there. I know you've done some time in the passenger seat of a car. What's it like when you're just getting caved in by tons of smoke?
Honestly, it's pretty rough. Because it's not just the smoke, you can't see. And then it's so hot inside the cars as well. You've got the heat coming through that firewall.
Yeah. Built for function, not for comfort. That's for sure. So our next matchup gets the once-over from our starter.
Ready to go.
Let's send them. I was going to say, you can't trust any of these drift guys. They'll go and they'll throw a different front end. Ben Barnes.
What an entry. He's got that thing on lock.
Jordan McIntosh struggling with the first corner.
Oh, that's hard work. Ben Barnes is showing him how it's done. He's really walking it away.
Yeah, Barnes Gets that transition, throws himself right where the judges want him.
And he held it together all the way through that run. Great run from Ben Barnes.
Jordan McIntosh has a heap of power at his disposal. You watch this thing pick up the pace, and there's not much that'll keep up with it. But Barnes just looking cool, calm and collected. Great angle through the first turn.
Tell you what, I'm enjoying this replay. It's wonderful to watch that a second time. That was a beautiful run.
Got the touch and go now through the outside zone. And nice and late when the judges want that transition. Puts you right on the perfect outside line.
Held it all the way through.
Absolutely.
What a finish.
So part one of the Barnes v McIntosh battle done and dusted. Now we're starting to get into the business end of tonight's Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars event.
And what a night it is. And I think that weather's cleared up for us as well.
Doesn't look like I can see anything on the lens. But let's check this thing out. What a look.
This is a good looking car. I was walking through the pits and it is stunning in person.
There's a whole heap of fabrication in the rear end of this. Our pro drifters throwing down here at Queensland Raceway. A very well-worn set of rears on display.
He's given those a touch-up.
100%. So, just waiting for his battle partner to come on up.
That's it, and we'll be ready to go. I'm really keen to see how this second run goes.
Ben Barnes with a bit of Burson Auto Parts backing. Cut his teeth on hill climbs and Morgan Park sprints. And would you believe it? He's a chocky milk enthusiast and part-time professional dog patter. That's enough of that. Tegan, what have you got?
Well, we're down here in the pit lane with Glenn Omerod through the top 16 battle into the top 8 now. Car feeling good or much to change in between rounds?
Yeah, car's feeling perfect as always. We haven't changed anything pretty much since we built the car. It's just all do driving and the car's on point again this weekend. So yeah, we're just here to get it done and go all the way.
Well, let's look forward to seeing you out there. Back up to you boys in the comms box.
So Glenn Omerod looking happy down there.
That is a man that's full of joy.
Absolutely.
He's feeling it tonight.
When things are going as smoothly as that, why wouldn't you? We get back out there. Just have a look. That is an interior that you could eat off. It really does echo to the machines that we've seen Bo Yates put together over the years. How's this? Even with his little custom radiator cooling kit, bit of water on there, some fans. Bob's your uncle. This thing is going to be ready to go before you know it. All I need to do is just check the fuel, new tyres, boom, happy days.
That is top tier, and that engine bay as well. That is stunning.
Like I say, you could eat off it. Look at that.
No drift missile here.
Absolutely not. Only the best for our boy Glenn Omerod.
And it's that Bo Yates history.
Oh. Nah. He was a 2019 Drift Masters champion over in, oh man, it was wild times back then. A Hi-Tec Pro-Am runner-up and most professional team and well-deserved. And 2022 Hi-Tec Pro Rookie of the Year and came fourth outright back in 22. So he's done his hard yards. And he is one to be reckoned with here tonight. He was a top 4 qualifier. Managed to find himself in third after our shootout. As we get set, this thing is wild. As we get ready for the top 8, it's all happening here at Queensland Raceway. So, Scott Shembry will take on Ricky White. Kieran Rackleft against Benke Brune. James Abbott against Chris Sadler. And Glenn Omerod will get a free pass into the top 4. It's all to play for here at round 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars Queensland Raceway. We've got our top 8s racked and stacked.
Well, this is a perfect chance to say thank you to our sponsors, including Zoo Performance, Orange Hire, Tri-Ace Tyres, AASA, and of course, Hi-Tec Oils.
There we go, Ben Barnes.
just at the ready position. Came first at Drift Masters Pro-Am 2022, first at the GMSC Pro-Am also at 22, and he was an IDC 2023 competitor. Shots on screen of Kieran Rackleft, just undergoing a bit of work there in the rear end. Needs more cable ties and duct tape.
It always does.
Absolutely. And he is all on his lonesome out there. This is Ben Barnes.
But he's on song and he is sending it.
How's that? The Burson Auto Parts machine just looking great. Not quite the angle that the judges were after there in that outside zone.
But he's on the power and bringing it home, the way we like to see.
This thing is just stunning on and off the track. Ben Barnes looks good as we have a clean up in aisle 3.
We've got a spill. What's going on here?
No good. Down there in the pits. So Ben Barnes into his top 8 will find himself against Glenn Ormerod, and that is our top 8 signed and sealed. So Ormerod does have a partner as we get set. Scott Shembry and Ricky White take to the track.
Here we go. I'm expecting big things from Shembry. Let's see if he can do it again.
Ricky White looked like he could hang with the big dogs there on the run in, but a big straighten up. Ricky has the clutch kick, and it's not looking good for our chase car.
Oh, I think Ricky White's in trouble here. Shembry's going to walk away from him at this point. Oh, what is going on here? He's really pushing back in.
Doing his best to try and find the door.
What a run
Scott
from
Shembry.
He's trying to bring it back together, and that he's really pushed.
The problem you're going to have there is Shembry didn't put a foot wrong. He got comfortable with this layout very, very quick. Watch for this big mistake here from our chase car. Not able to pile the angle on. Have to clutch kick it.
Big front wheel lock up there. And Shembry just walks away.
So much grip dialed into that 350. Little bit of an adjustment.
Bit of a twitch there from Shembry as he was working through that transition.
But a great lead run. And I got to say, Ricky doing a fantastic job to claw back that much proximity after a big mistake there in the entry.
You could really see the power from that twin turbo. It's really pushing when he comes on the power there.
You watch the rear just squat and all that power just transitions into grip. It is absolutely wild watching this thing get off the line. So Ricky White has a lot to do. As I can see, there is a slight misting of rain happening out there.
Well, that's going to change these setups for them, isn't it? They're going to have to think quick. Do they make the change or do they hold it through?
Well, that's it. Scott Shembry was pretty happy to leave the dry setup in the car coming into tonight's competition. Ricky White leads us out.
Here we go. Can he hold it together?
Big, big entry, but hasn't gone wrong. Ricky White with the entry of the night.
He was full power there. He was not going to leave that alone. He wants to make up for that first run.
It's a tough one because you have to wonder if the camera lies a little bit and whether judges saw that same image. But man, oh man, Ricky White, talk about redemption.
Ricky White bringing it home. What a run.
That is a tough, tough ask. He will cop penalties, but let's check this out. Watch the entry into turn 1, hazing the bags, aggressive flick, and the most angle that we've seen.
Full noise. I mean, he's trying to put that in backwards.
Absolutely wild. Washed off a little bit of speed on the exit there. Scott Shembry gathers it up. No major problems there, but Shembry just playing it safe and keeping a nice steady gap. He was with him all the way. Closes up on him on the exit.
That's it. Could see Shembry.
So down to the pits with Tegan.
Well, the final winner of the top 16 battle going into the top 8. You came away with second place in the first round at Sydney Motorsports Park. How's the car feeling tonight, and what are you thinking heading into the top 8?
Yeah, pretty excited. Very, very keen to be here, obviously, as always. No, the car's feeling very good. It's very gripped up, very fast. So we've been working at it all through practice yesterday just to try and get some pace out of it and sort of understand what we need to do to further it and make it more drivable against other drivers. But no, I reckon we're going pretty well so far. So I've got a good team helping me out. So yeah.
Excellent. I've seen just before the top 16 battle, before you went out there, I saw you talking with James Abbott, and there was the international storytelling of a race car driver. Where was there a little bit of tips going on there about Queensland Raceway?
Oh, well, mainly just talking about how dry the track is. So, yeah, because he obviously went out for, the first round of top 16. So, yeah, no, I just wanted to see how the track was going. So then I had a rough idea of what to look out for. So, no, he's very helpful, very good bloke.
All right, well, all the best, Ben, and we look forward to seeing you as the night progresses.
Great chat with Ben Barnes. And a quick look there at that immaculate machine that he's peddling around Queensland Raceway here tonight. The win from that last battle going to Scott Shembry as the rain increases.
That is coming down now. I think they're going to be in a bit of trouble. They are going to have a look at these setups.
Yeah, this is tough as Kieran Rackleft gets into the tyre warming zone.
Oh, you could see that just snap around.
His battle against Benke Brune.
These wet conditions are going to make it difficult for these drivers. They have not been practicing this track. They've had a dry track the whole time. This is really going to mix it up.
Well, there's reports coming in that the rain is localised to the start area. What's worse than having a wet track? I tell you what it is. It's a track that has inconsistent grip conditions. You'll come out in the wet and expect it to be wet going through towards the zoo touch and go. And it's dry.
That's it. And then you're going to grip up. Exactly. And they're just going to lose it. This is really going to be tough.
So, let's see what they can throw down. Kieran Rackleft will lead us out in Nissan.
Here we go. Let's see if Kieran can get that speed into this first entry.
Coming on in. Initiates. Big drag of the handbrake there to get the car in the zone.
Kieran's got the power down. But Benke, he's right there.
Great chase right there on the rear bumper. Bit of a straighten there from both of our drivers. Benke on the grass, doing everything he can to try and hang with Kieran.
Oh, Benke is trying to push him all the way through this run.
The proximity was good.
And did I just see something fly off the car at the end?
Yeah, it's a drift car. Anything's possible. So here we go, launching him down into turn one. And Kieran just hanging the rear and letting the Nissan eat.
Oh,
unreal.
This tri-ace replay. So good to see that again. Look at that. He's right up on the door. That's what we wanted to see. But again, then stepped away.
Yeah, so there was a couple of sections there on the run through the outside zone there for Benke Brune. Big straighten up, trying to maintain that proximity to Kieran. And then getting the wheel out onto the grass again to try and close up the distance and straight line right onto the bumper there of the Nissan of Kieran Rackleft. So we'll switch them around and we get set to send them again.
There's that localised rain.
Yep. Less than ideal for our drifters to try and combat changing track conditions.
These track conditions, suboptimal.
Putting it nicely. So Kieran, looks like we need a couple of stainless steel cable ties on that exhaust there. She's hanging free.
Bit of a bounce going on there. A few more zip ties in the pits.
Quick look over Benke Brune's machine. That thing is absolutely immaculate. Incredible rig.
Here we go. Can he get that power down? Is he getting the grip off the start?
Yeah, Kieran hazing the bags. A couple of sparks. Wouldn't be surprised if that's coming from the exhaust as the Zoo Performance machine fires it into turn one.
Benke Brune hammered down. How good is this?
And let's look for Kieran to try and close up the gap.
Oh, Kieran's trying to wind it. He's trying to wind it in there. Can he get on it?
Not able to really close it down. Big straighten up to try and get back onto the door of Benke Brune, who has put down an incredible lead lap.
That's it. Benke showed us how it's done there.
Check this out.
On the tri-ace replay, look at this. Big power out of turn one. We've got a great snap here, right out near the Zoo Performance sign. Look at that. From the air, we've got this outside zone. Setting up. Quick transition.
But there, that was it. Through that last corner, spot the difference. All in the angle.
All right, let's go. We're lining up. Got the cars coming up to the start line here.
So we're still waiting for that result to drop in. It's about to come through. And Benke Brune into the top four.
This localised rain really is getting me. It is not raining in that direction, is it?
It's a bit tough. I can see it moving across as we get set to send them. Benke Brune taking the win
Very
in that
good.
last battle. And James Abbott out for his battle against Chris Sadler.
I'm looking for full power here from Abbott. Look at him. He's on the throttle hard. He's looking out the passenger window there. Let's see if he can snap it back near that Zoo Performance sign. Out hard. He is really throwing down here and showing us how it's done.
That drone shot paying dividends.
Chris Sadler just couldn't get back up on it there.
And Abbott absolutely monstering this layout here. Watch this. Big flick initiation there to get the show started.
And look at that wastegate.
It's just setting that track surface on fire. Watch him through. Look how wide he was out through the Zoo Performance touch and go.
Oh.
Hangs the rear entirely out through the outside zone and then finishes it off.
Big power all the way down there to the end.
So the smoke shifting out on track as we enjoy a nice, warm, dry commentary box. Spare a thought for Tegan Peck and our drivers and crew that are all out there in the trenches.
Because the weather's great up here. And here they go, coming back into the start line.
So James Abbott, Chris Sadler, our two there, looking to try and cement a spot through to the top four.
Let's see who's going to push through. Because I really want to see some more utes in this top four.
Well, they've been whittled down over the course of competition. Chris Sadler will lead us out. James Abbott.
Here we go. Power down with big speed. James Abbott's going to have to get right up on his door here.
Sadler throws the ute in. She's a big girl.
Oh, James was on the door there, but Sadler really is pushing away.
Abbott narrows it up, tries to lock in.
Bit shallow on the angle there from Sadler in the lead.
Hangs it out nicely through the final sector, but right there, monstering him the entire time. James Abbott.
Abbott just kept pushing up on that door.
Let's have a look at this. It's a big commitment from the ute. Sadler doing everything he can. Not really able to pile on the angle there through the midsection of turn one.
And here we go. From the air, you can really see the angles here. Getting a little bit shallow. But we've got plenty of speed.
It was a nice late transition, exactly like the judges want on that prescribed line.
That proximity there at the end, that was on top of each other.
Let's go down to the pits and have a chat. Tegan, who have you got?
Well, we're here with Kieran Radcliffe now. Unfortunately, didn't make it through to the top 8, but not without trying. Style points have to go. I mean, when you talk about leaving it all on the line, you know, the exhaust is touching the ground right here.
Look at the state of it. The quarters come off on practice, the bumper, the side skirts, the tail light's gone. Like, we've just pushed it so hard. That last battle we got a whack. The exhaust is scraping, making sparks on the ground. The engine's having issues. My dash is flashing at me. Got no power steering. It's just all happening this weekend. I don't know. I don't know why, but just, you know, it hasn't been my weekend, but God, we've pushed through it and we're taking it. Like, we made top 4 qualifiers. We got the battle in the top 4 against Jabs and Glenn Omerod. That's like a dream come true. Like, second battle in pro, and we get to go to the top dogs. And then we still get 2 battles in the top 16 and the top 8. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, I remember from round 1 at Sydney Motorsports Park, I went to have a chat with you. We couldn't quite get there, but the side door on this thing was fairly knocked in. It's still a little bit knocked up.
Yeah, no, so that got a good whack. We were chasing Ricky White, and he was on new tyres, those Tri-Aces, and he's gone to pedal the car, and it just snapped back to straight as I've dived in and just collected him with the side door. I think it was deemed he was at fault because of the straighten, but yeah, that door copped a good hiding.
Well, that's Kieran Radcliffe. We'll just have a quick look over here. Now, it's a bright orange suit that you can see, but we've got orange, and I am orange here, so a little bit of work to be done here, but it's also orange. So identifying as orange at this point is Kieran Radcliffe. Back up to you boys in the comms box.
I love it. This is what we love about drifting. Never say die, and until it's in a million pieces, she's still good for competition.
Zip ties holding that drift car together.
Unreal.
That is the spirit of drifting right there.
So James Abbott collecting the win points and progressing through to our top 4 battle over Chris Sadler. Sadler did a great job, but unfortunately not able to convert against our number 2 qualifier. Moving on now, Glenn Ormerod and Ben Barnes about to throw down here at Queensland Raceway. Ormerod will lead us out over Barnes.
Looking forward to a big run here from Ormerod. He really has been having fun tonight.
So Ormerod, Captain Smooth. Let's check this out. Can't see an awful lot of rain on the screens, but we'll see what the grip conditions look like. Ormerod puts a pedal to the metal with the 8.6.
That's it, he sends it. Look at that angle coming in there.
That is mega.
Here we go.
Barnes right there with him though, Scott.
He's on top of it, isn't it? Look how close he is through that transition.
Check it out. Tries to shorten up the corner. Can't really reel him in, but he's right there for the transition into the final sector. And Barnes looking good. Ormerod just flawless.
Ormerod, cool, calm, and collected.
Man, he is a force to be reckoned with. Ormerod is doing the crew proud. There it is. Big initiation, drags the brake.
And you can watch Ormerod here, just looking through the car. You can see that he is calm behind the wheel.
100%. He's in the zone. Out through the outside zone.
He's feeling it.
Just out the brakes there, and nice and late on that transition. Puts you on that line, wide through that final sector.
And just peeling those tyres.
I don't know what it is that keeps copping or hiding out there on the finish line. With shots on screen of Scott Shembry's Hi-Tec Oils twin turbocharged LS 350Z.
What a car. And twin turbos and wastegates up through the bonnet.
Unreal stuff. Great to see him. He's
Do they get
pretty calm out there.
I was going to say, they really do need to be getting some style points here, don't they?
Oh, surely. Look, this is one of the best, if not the best, turned out drift outfit in the country.
And they've got it dialed in too. This is the thing that I love. It looks good, sounds good, goes hard, and sends it lap after lap.
Yeah, Shembry's a character too. Great to have him here with us this weekend. Have a look at that. I've gone for a passenger lap in that machine, and I tell you what, I was a changed man after hopping out of the seat there. He knows how to drive, that's for sure.
And in the back there, is that cooling in the rear?
Yes, it is indeed. Rear mount radiator means that if you decide to get up nice and close on the door of someone, you're not stoving in your cooling system. So we switch them around. Ben Barnes will take on Glenn Ormerod for the final section of their battle to cement our top 4. Who's going through, Barnes or Ormerod?
Let's see if Barnes can make it happen.
Got a big ask.
I've seen
him flick, and look at the angle here from Barnes.
Big entry. Hammer down. He is walking away. Ormerod's going to have to work hard here if he wants to show him how it's done.
Yeah, Ormerod sacrificing angle for speed to try and close up the distance there. Barnes aggressive on the transition.
Oh, Barnes pushing all the way through. What a drive.
Fantastic run there from Barnes and Ormerod. You've got to love it. Here we go. One more time.
That is a big entry.
Yeah, Barnes put everything he had into that Person Auto Parts machine.
He left nothing behind on this run. That is a real push.
Super aggressive. Be interesting to see the drone shot. Unfortunately not available to us. But Ormerod really looked like he closed up the angle there to try and chase Barnes down. That run through the outside zone.
That is sensational. He left it all out there on the track.
Did you see my fucking runs with my
Apologies for the foul language
so
there.
Potty, man.
But Spanky Brune just...
There's a lot of excitement.
He's having a great time out there. Love it. Love the interior lighting too.
Makes it a lot easier for us inside that Silvia. A couple of signatures on the dash there too.
How good. Man, these guys having a great time out there. Whether it's wet, whether it's dry, they do not care. Who have we got? Hard to see. He cut through. So we're having a look.
Let's see it again.
Yeah, Ormerod quite got the angle through turn one. Our judges have actually asked to see the replay. So this one going down to the wire for a second round of deliberation here. They'll come to a consensus.
That is tough because Omerod, he didn't have the angle there halfway through from what I can see.
It's only when you watch the replay back 2 and 3 times that these things really start to become apparent. And there is something to be said for going with the gut. I wonder which way our judges have gone upon seeing that bit of footage there.
That's tough. That really was hard to split.
So, still waiting for the results to drop in from that Omerod v Barnes battle.
Hopefully we'll hear something soon. The judges are obviously having to really, they're debating this one hard tonight.
100%. So a great night of action here at Queensland Raceway. I tell you what, that's the quietest the pit lane's been since about 6 a.m. this morning. The Hi-Tec Oil Super Series tearing it up out here in Willowbank.
Well, that's it. We've got 2 days of thunder.
It's been a wild event. They've been doing laps all day long, going hard, and it's been a massive, massive event, over 230 entrants. And great to have the icing on the cake here tonight with our Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars.
That's the best way to finish the day.
Big shout out to everyone involved as we cut the shots of the Omerod machine. And the way he's rushing, I wonder if our judges might be considering.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Maybe the one more time. I don't know. Look, speculation.
There's something going on
my
here.
Trademark.
I'm in for speculation.
Oh, it's a toughie. But how's this? Omerod still looks cool and calm. Yeah, he's got a job to do, but he's not freaking out. Just getting that car cooled down, and we'll wait for the call. Our judges keeping us in suspense, and the answer is in. We are going to a one more time for Glenn Omerod and Ben Barnes to secure a spot for the top 4.
Well, there we go. One more time.
We have to say that even though we have had a little bit of moisture out there on track, the more laps that get put down, and here we go, this is going to be a tough one with more water coming in, but the more rubber gets laid down, the track can come alive, as it were, and really provide a lot more in terms of grip and pace and control. But that liquid horsepower, you can really see it. That's quite heavy out there in the tyre warm-up zone.
If there's a car that doesn't need more liquid horsepower, it's probably a twin-turbo V8. But he's getting those tyres warm, so let's see what Chambry can do. I'm really keen to see this run.
So gets the job done. And Benke Brune
into the warm-up zone, getting the temp back up in those tyres. These guys, they're ready to throw down.
These are fresh sticker tyres. There's no such thing as using roaded tyres on a top 4 battle. Scott Chambry and Benke Brune looking for a spot into our finals. Top 4 is where it's at.
Rain's coming down. We're ready to go.
Benke Brune in the Zoo Performance machine, sporting the underglow. All class from Scott Chambry, and he'll lead us into a wall of water. Here we go. Look for that initiation, and big drag of the handbrake there. Benke Brune sliding it through, and problems there. Both of our drivers in trouble.
It's all come undone here, that wet track.
Yeah, sudden downpour. Scott Chambry trying to do what he can to resurrect the remainder of this run.
And just get it done. Get the job done. You can see he's all over the shop there. He's really having trouble keeping... Yeah, this is hard work in that rain condition.
Absolutely nothing against either of our drivers, but it's like watching a racehorse try to ice skate.
You can see how much those track conditions have changed between these runs.
Now, this is going to be tough. How do you dissect that? How do you judge that? What a job. Here is where it all came undone.
Straight off the back of the first entry,
Four-wheel lock-up there for the Hi-Tec Oils 350, and Benke so close to burying it right at the driver's door of Scott Shembry.
I think he's had to correct there just to actually stay from coming into contact. And then
slight drop there on the outside as Shembry loops it.
And digging holes, unfortunately. That's tough. That's not what we want to see.
Yeah, but it's an odd one, and without having an ear on what the judges are actually saying, I wonder how they decide this.
Because both drivers giving it everything they've got out there. They're really trying to bring it back together, but that was hard work for both of them.
So, our man down on the ground, Tegan, how is it out there where you're standing?
Well, you guys were talking about rain a little bit earlier on, and I hadn't actually been feeling anything. It's just started to come down a little bit behind us. I'm actually in the official Hi-Tec Drifting Australia weather monitor. So as this shirt starts to go that little bit more see-through, you'll actually know that it's raining a little bit more down here. So we're just seeing a little bit more action out on track. Now Glenn Ormerod, Ben Barnes going to go head-to-head for a one more go for the final top 8 battle, and then we're going to be straight into the top 4. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with some more action soon.
Love it, Tegan. Mate, better you than me out there. No one wants to see me in a wet T-shirt. As here we go. Benke Bruhn leads out Scott Shembry in treacherous conditions. Shembry not holding back, but Benke Bruhn piles on the angle here. Has had a taste of that turn 1 and has its measure.
But Shembry looking to tuck it in there. He's giving it everything he's got.
Benke with a straight in there coming off the touch and go into the outside zone. He's very shallow.
Benke holding it together here into this final turn. Can he hold it down?
This is tough. That spin against, that spin of Shembry's in that first portion. As Benke's still stoked, that spin of Shembry is really going to count against him.
All right, here we go.
Benke Bruhn adapted quickly to the changing conditions out there. Far better response.
And we've got all the wheel speed and we haven't got any of the smoke.
Yeah, tough. It gives and it takes. That liquid horsepower, as we've mentioned.
And Shembry here through this final part of the run, you can see he's pushing up on the door. He's got it there lined up.
Well, I mean, if you had to look at it as a worst case scenario, Shembry actually spun. Had a full rotation on his lead run there. Benke, all he did was drop a tyre and get a bit untidy. I wonder if the judges are going to look at it from that perspective and possibly hand the win over to Benke Bruhn in the Zoo Performance car. It's a tough job, and that's why I'm not doing it. That sounds like a them problem.
It certainly does, and we've got Ormerod here in the pits. He's being pushed back out here.
He's going to head on out for his one more time. As if once wasn't enough up against Ben Barnes.
There can only be one winner, but it's not always fair. That's racing.
Ormerod exiting pit lane, and he'll have to make his way all the way down through the top end of the track to find his way to the start line. Scott Shembry handed the win in the battle out there against Benke Bruhn.
And Ormerod showing us how it's done, even while he's just getting out on track.
So Shembry will take the win.
All right, you can see both guys here trying to get these cars ready, trying to get a feel for this track.
Ormerod just going at it.
These changing conditions, it's really making it difficult for our drivers.
So finding a place into our final, Scott Shembry of the Hi-Tec Blaze unit. He's going to be happy at the result at least, but not necessarily with the performance.
Oh, shake of the head there.
That is tough as out there, man. Better them than me.
Those liquid horsepower pushed him up all the way.
And there he goes. Scott Shembry advancing through to the final. We've got the one more time of Glenn Ormerod and Ben Barnes to lock in that final spot for the top 4. The winner of this battle will go on to face James Abbott for a spot into the final.
Well, this is it. Here we go. We've got Ormerod still warming these tyres up.
And he's doing absolutely everything he can, not just to, as we discussed last night, warm up the exterior of the tyres, but actually get heat into the carcass.
Because it was the delaminating that we're really trying to avoid with this heat cycling.
It's a tough set of conditions out there for a driver to really try and do it, but Omerod just using best practices to try and prevent that and make sure that he's got all the control of all the variables as possible. So the Greg Omerod Automotive 8-6 out there, getting closer to the one more time battle.
That's it. We're lining up. We're coming up to the start.
Coming on through.
Still warming those tyres up.
Just trying to retain as much heat. No matter what language you speak, hot tyres are good tyres.
Hot tyres are good tyres. That does make a big difference. Side by side.
Ben Barnes absolutely threw down in the battle against Omerod earlier tonight. And it was so tight the judges deemed one more time to be necessary.
Just holding here. They put all that heat in. I hope they get him going soon.
The Hawkesbury Cranes backed 8-6. Loaded and ready for bear. As Barnes is just settling in. And at the drop of a hat, we're going to send these guys, and they need to go from 0 to 100 in terms of the mental focus.
We got the waving of the door there.
Just trying to get some of that heat out of the car. And this is the problem now, also potentially why Omerod was really working those tyres. Every minute, or every second rather, they sit here on the line is precious temperature bleeding out into the tarmac.
Making it tough for them. Here we go. We're on. And we're away.
Omerod leads us out. And waiting to get that pace dialed in.
There we go. Big entry from Omerod. He has got it all.
It's a deceptive camera angle there, and the edge of the circuit sneaks up on you. Omerod throws it into the gravel, and Ben Barnes continues on.
Omerod gave it everything there on that initiation. He had it sideways into that first turn.
So Ben Barnes, last time he came out on the track in that battle against Omerod, vastly different. Again, track conditions. You're going to hate us for mentioning it, but he was really able to adapt for that, what was essentially a solo run. But look at this, Omerod, four-wheel understeer just...
You can see he's trying to dial it back in. He's trying to catch it, and then, nah, sorry, gone.
A bollard into the door there. Now, those bollards aren't there as a zone for drivers to hit. They are there purely to mark the edge of the track. Tegan with more from the pits.
As we get a little bit of a warm embrace there from Benkai Broom. Scott Shembury, a little bit of a tough track out there with a little bit of rain setting in there, but what happened with your run?
Oh yeah, it's pretty wild out there now. It's been sprinkling all night. It dries out. It doesn't dry out. On the entry there, we just threw it in. Banky gave me a little bit of a tap, and we both went off the track and got zeros. I think the tap really didn't affect me too much. We both hit the concrete and got double zeros, and then in my chase run, just tried to put it on him through the middle section. He was a bit shallow, had a little bit straight, and I tried to run the wider line and then just get on his door at the end. Look, the conditions are tough. Well done to Benky in a borrowed car. What a legend. We're just going to keep pushing through. Hopefully it just doesn't rain anymore and we can get a dry track out there for the finals. But look, we're happy with the outcome, happy with the car, and just keep pushing forward.
All right, well, and there's some followers that watching the live stream who have asked me to do something here, so you're going to have to just relax a little bit and just let me just do this a little bit here, and then let's just get a shot together here, because I can't actually grow them, but it looks good enough.
Great
Scotty.
There we go. Strong car, strong moustache, strong performance.
So this is what I mean. That camera angle there on turn one is deceptive. No way in hell was I going to spot the tap there from Benky Brune that
could not
ended
see
up
that.
being a major part there. Scott, good enough to brush it off as we check things out. Ben Barnes going out against Omerod. Omerod made an off-track excursion. Barnes looking pretty good through there. Omeron doing everything he can to run with him.
And he's got the power, but can Omeron bring it back in? He's got the speed, he's got the angle. Can he wide it in? He's going wide again.
Yeah, straighten up there from Ben Barnes on the second half of that outside zone. But getting the job done with a lock, stomp and steer through the final sector. It was restrained from Omerod potentially. Is he a bit gun shy?
I think he just might be, because he's certainly worried about winding that speed off.
He's also a very calculated driver, and you look at the condition on that 8.6, he's not about to stove it into the side. As the win of the one more time goes to Ben Barnes.
There you go, Ben Barnes, well deserved.
So that was the last piece of the puzzle with our top four, and Ben Barnes will front up against James Abbott for his spot into the final. Then we'll pit our losers of those finals against each other to decide third place. So more chats happening down there in the pits between Shebri and Brune. And he is loving it.
There's two fellas having a great night. Look at that camaraderie in the pits.
In the Ben Hodges Zoo Performance car. How's that? High fives all round.
Loving life.
He is Hi-Tec. He is Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars sweetheart right now. With that right there, how can you not love the guy?
What a legend.
Absolutely stoked to be here.
Action on the hill. Back of the car. Watching drifting. What a night at Queensland Raceway.
Big shout out to everyone that is out there enjoying it live, and also anyone joining us from the comfort of home. It's great to have you here. Hugs all round, as Omerod unfortunately not advancing through to his spot in the top four. That going to Ben Barnes, as we will run them.
What is going on here?
Mate, high on life. How about it?
Mate, that is a man having the night of his life.
Unreal stuff down here at Queensland Raceway. It's been a trying night.
It really has been a tough one for them.
It's been a tough night. I feel for everybody out there.
Because I saw them shaking their heads as they watched the clouds come in sunset today.
Yep. Well, if you've been enjoying what these guys have been throwing down out on track, why don't you watch on? Let's check out what's involved in getting started in drifting.
Hey, just want to give you a bit of a heads up. A lot of people ask me, how do they get involved in drifting? Basically, hit up any of your local racetracks around the area. Even get on Facebook, look for any of the drift clubs. There's always people that are willing to give you a hand and help you get into drifting. Basically, all you have to have is a rear-wheel drive car. Hopefully a manual will make it easier, and a bit of a handbrake that can work, and just get into it and have some fun. You don't have to go too hardcore and too serious at the beginning. It's still one of the greatest motorsports and one of the cheapest motorsports to get involved in. And honestly, as far as the drivers and the people around drifting, everyone's there to give you a hand. If you ask any driver at a drift track on what you need to do to get better or anything, they'll give you a hand and help you out. And that's why I love drifting in Australia. I did it myself. I started just going to wet skid pan days, then eventually going to competitions. And I asked other drivers, and they always helped me. And then I'm passing that information on to as many drivers as I can. So guys, head to the track, get your car, have some fun. It's the best thing you could ever do with a vehicle.
Chris Froome with a couple of wise words there on how to get started in drifting. Progress and keep at it. Who knows, you'll find yourself out here with our pro drifters with the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Star Series. Check them out on Facebook, Hi-Tec Drift Australia. Of course, it's great to have you there. Join them over on Instagram as well. Jump in and make sure, if you're enjoying yourself out there, hashtag Hi-Tec Drift Oz. Make sure you tag them on what used to be known as Twitter. I still can't call it X, but it is what it is.
Always good to hear from Chris Froome. And drifting, what a great sport to get yourself into. In terms of grassroots motorsport, it's one where you can turn up and just get involved.
Absolutely. It's been bringing people together for some time now. For a long time there, it was one of the newest forms of motorsport, and great to see it with the legitimacy that it has today. Aerial shots of this place that we're calling home for 2 days of thunder. The biggest event in 10 years here at Queensland Raceway. And awesome to have Hi-Tec Oils Drift Allstars as part of it. And what a stunning place. It looks good in the daylight, but here under lights, even better. Well, it's been an absolutely massive afternoon and evening of drifting. Let's check out some of the highlights from our top 8 battles. This one was big. Scott Shembry in the chase position here.
And here you can see that dry track. You can see those tyres just peeling as well.
100%. He is renowned for the fog. And there it is.
What a night it's been.
Rack left, unfortunately, not making it through. Beyond. And that was an incredible run there with Becky Brood. Brood throwing absolutely everything but the kitchen sink at it. Getting a wheel out into the grass. And this will be a really good way to spot when it all changed, when the rain came in. Look at the control that these drivers had in the dry time of the event. James Abbott dispatching one of our utes. I know, shed a tear.
And he didn't bring it there. But it's really interesting to see these dry runs and then compared to the wet runs that we've had later in the evening.
Yeah. Abbott coming through the Victor up against the whole Ute. Now it's this. Lock, stomp and steer out the back door.
Mate, the holding Ute there doing Australia proud.
This was the first version of the battle between Ormerod and Ben Barnes.
And Ormerod just had the 8.6 singing through here.
Look at it, Barnes with the emulation there. Good proximity on the transition.
And that finish, Ormerod.
Barnes in the lead now in the run against Ormerod. And Ormerod not quite holding the proximity for as long. There were moments of brilliance there where he really closed up just like that.
And this is the thing, you can't just do it once, you've got to be able to line it up back to back.
Especially when the judges ask for a one more time, like they did. Scott Shembry out there up against Benke Broon. These are highlights from our top 8 battles. Let's see if we can spot the moment where there was the contact that Shembry was talking about.
And I think this is it, up on him. Looking for the tap, I think that was it.
Happened on the backside of the car. No way we were going to catch it. But man, oh man, Shembry got the boot right back into it.
And that's it, a professional level drift car. It's akin to riding a fire-breathing dragon.
Unreal when the exhaust flames out through the bonnet, like Shembry's does. It'd feel like it too. Benke Broon, though, I tell you what, if you had to have people's favourites out there, surely he's got to be right up there.
I think he is. Kind of like that limiter that they were bashing.
Absolutely loving life out there. Aerial shots of our playground here tonight as Ben Barnes about to take on presumably a well-rested James Abbott. James hasn't had an awful lot to do while we've locked in the last spot in our top 4. And now, job's on.
If he's all rested up, let's hope he can give us a big run.
Well, there he is, waiting and ready at the start line. Doing it for Hi-Tec Oils. We're noticing in that tyre warm-up there was a bit more smoke coming off the rubbers there.
Might have a little bit more grip here. Let's see what they can do on this initiation.
James Abbott hates the bags on the run in. It's a good initiation. And Barnes right
Whoa!
there with him. Abbott's gone off. Did he lose the rear?
And we've overtaken. What's going on?
So Barnes gets out in front and possibly, again, those unpredictable conditions out there.
I think those changing track conditions have really mixed it up.
So hard to tell without being down there, but let's check this out. All going wrong in the first turn for Abbott. You can see him trying to dial it back in and just racking on the steering.
Too much. He's got that big lock kit there and he kept winding it on, but there just wasn't enough to catch it.
So Barnes able to hold it together and continue on the run and make it look good while he was at it. But Abbott is going to be livid after that.
Maybe all that time off wasn't too good after all.
Well, this is the problem. When your body comes down to rest, it needs to be brought back up into the zone. Who knows? Again, more speculation here.
That's
the
what we're here
seasoned
to
pro
do.
like James Abbott, I reckon he knows how to get himself ready to run.
I'm confident he'll be able to bring it back together here.
Look at him. He's not hanging around. He wants to get the second part of this battle done and dusted. He wants a result, and he's going to do everything he can to tip the scales in his favour against Ben Barnes.
Pumped and ready to go. In the starter's hands.
Barnes potentially on the run into another finals berth.
Let's go.
Barnes leads us out. Abbott on the skinny pedal.
Big power. Here we go. That is a big entry.
Heaps of smoke through turn one.
Ben Barnes throwing down. Really trying to step away from Abbott.
And so far, this is looking good for Barnes. He's wide there, but it really cranks in. And Abbott draws right up on the door. The proximity is immaculate.
That is a good run from both drivers. That is nice work from Barnes and Abbott.
Yeah, supremely chaseable line there thrown out by Ben Barnes.
This entry, this is a big one.
There was plenty of opportunity there for James Abbott to try and get up close, and he did. Here they come through the outside zone. Little dab of the brakes there, as if he was trying to keep himself off the grass, but able to hold it out super late, transition super late, and get it into that final sector and hold it wide open. It's going to be a tough one for James Abbott.
And we can see with all that smoke that the track's dried out again.
So the win going to Ben Barnes, locks himself in for 2 finals in 2 rounds. That was a big one.
Big night for Ben Barnes.
Barnes, of course, in round 1 going down to James Abbott at Sydney Motorsport Park. So he will feel redemption after that heated battle of the final over in Sydney.
What a run. Back into the pits.
Have seeded our finals, and it'll be James Abbott up against Benke Brune as they fight it out for 3rd place. Looking for the top spot, Scott Shembry and Ben Barnes going toe-to-toe and trying to get this deal sealed. And I got to say, an incredible level of quality on the cars here this weekend.
Absolutely sensational. When you walk through that pit lane there, just a beautiful presentation.
Unreal. That was a giant killer moment there for Ben Barnes over James Abbott. I mean, again, OG drifter. The guy has been around for so long and has himself so completely dialed in that car. Really unfortunate for him to go down like that. But a big, big win in the book there for Ben Barnes to front up against Scott Shembry. Teagues, how you going down there?
Yeah, it's going good down here. It's a little bit weirder to see how quiet it is heading into the top 4. You know, cars starting to slow down, but we're in front of a pretty cool story here with Ben Barnes. So round 1 went into the top spot, first versus second, came away with the 2nd spot, now goes back in against Scott Shembry for the final round. Who will it be? Can Ben Barnes advance on what he did the last time and get on the top spot of the podium?
Great stuff as we enjoy the vision of Ben Barnes. How good's the livery on this thing, Scott? Is that up your alley?
Mate, that's right up my alley. See that sparkle there in the paint? That's what I'm here to see. I love a drift car with a bit of sparkle.
I reckon that paint job, you could probably weigh in kilos.
Look, good chance, but these are the things we do for fashion.
Here it is. Your final has been locked and loaded, but the battle for 3rd between Benke Brune and James Abbott. Scott Shembry taking on Ben Barnes as Barnes looks to go to the top step here at round 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars Series at Queensland Raceway. And man, oh man, Barnes, he's just been on the march.
This is going to be a big one because, I mean, Shembry v Barnes. Shembry has been throwing down all weekend.
I'm going to say Barnes has quite the scalp to his name now. Taking down Glenn Ormerod, that's not a small feat.
Not easily done, and he really is building that credential.
Looking at our other drivers, Benke Brun took down probably our most improved driver out of yesterday, Kieran Ratcliffe. That was in their top 8 battle, securing Benke a spot in the top 4. And I got to say, Kieran has done himself proud out here over the course of the last 2 nights of drifting here. Most transformative experience from anybody out there watching him at the start of practice to where he finished up in qualifying. It was unreal to see.
He has stepped it through, and again, none of this is possible without our wonderful sponsors. Our thanks to Hi-Tec Oils, AASA, Tri-Ace Tyres, Orange Hire, and Zoo Performance. Here for the Hi-Tec Oils Drift Allstars at Queensland Raceway.
So still a bit of smoke hanging in the air, Scott, mixed with rain as we get set. Abbott and Brun going head-to-head for 3rd place. They'll be going at it like as if it's for the win.
Mate, this is it. You don't want to leave anything behind. You've made it to the pointy end. It's tough work in between these battle trees.
So let's have a quick look at probably the most iconic moment of tonight's broadcast right there. Scott Shembry going, what is he doing? But it had to happen. Teagues, shout out to you, mate. The Mo tickle. It'll go down in history.
Mo power.
Love it. I can't grow a Mo to save myself.
No, look, it's not great.
No, it's not. Trust me. I agree. I can own that. So important things happening in the background, behind the scenes, as drivers get themselves ready. There we go. They're even watching the event from the pits. How is this? The motorcycle there living on in infamy.
Well, I think they're going to turn that into a GIF and roll that out through the Hi-Tec Oils.
Surely.
I certainly hope so.
Absolutely. And I love it. Scott Shembry just taking it in his stride.
Oh, look, he's owning it. When you drive like that and drive that car, you can rock it.
He's a chill cat, Scott. And it's good to have him around. Not only one of the most skilled drift drivers, but just a good dude.
Mate, knows how to play the game. Spirit of drifting. Loves it. Gets amongst it.
Great to see everyone enjoying themselves out there. Hopefully you are too, watching on at home if you are. As we are into the closing stages of the evening. Checks being carried out on the cars, changing tyres, and making sure all the vitals are cleared and okay.
And here we are just waiting, looking over pit lane. Bit quiet at pit lane this time of night.
Yeah. Don't worry, that'll all be firing up tomorrow with day 2. About 2 days of thunder.
We can see a bit of movement. Here we go. Drivers going back out on track.
So, looks like we are setting up our battle for 3rd. Benke Brun and James Abbott. Brun with the underbody neons ablaze. How's that? Hypnotic.
He's been listening. He's got those underglow flashing for us.
Makes his way over the start-finish line. His way through. Here he comes, James Abbott. One part of the Hi-Tec Oils Blaze unit.
With only half brakes or just half brake lights?
Hey, you don't need brake lights. Come on.
Just technically. And they've got the front brake lights there as well across the windscreen.
Oh, of course. Need to be able to show the judges when you're dabbing the, doing a bit of left foot braking.
Little touches of correction there.
So Benke Brun has been one of the stories of this evening, finding himself in the run for 3rd place, dispatching Sam Mudge and Kieran Ratcliffe for this spot, or a chance at 3rd. James Abbott took out Daniel Flood and Chris Sadler, and now finds himself against the Zoo Performance car, owned by and driven by Ben Hodges, but in the very capable hands of Brun tonight.
getting some heat back into those tyres. Winding it
We
up.
should reel out the Hi-Tec Oils weather monitor.
Look,
You're going to go stand out at pit exit for a second and give us an idea on what the moisture index is like.
I think we should, but we can see a little bit of smoke coming off the tyres there, so must be okay. Well, there you go. There's our weather moth.
You can actually see there are drying patches, so still a bit of latent heat in the tarmac out there, presumably at pit exit. We'll see how this all shapes up as we get set. This is your battle for third. James Abbott will lead us out against Benke Bruhn. And here we go. Time to drop the hammer.
We're on power down. Big entry. Here he goes.
A bit of correction early on there into the entry, but the line is good as they fire it out towards the touch and go. And Bruhn narrows it up to try and grab some proximity and goes off track.
Oh, he's out of there. He's going to try and catch up. He's going to try and redeem himself, but I can see bits flying off the car.
Less than ideal.
Oh!
And a big snap, and it's buried itself in the grass of turn 6.
Is not ideal. There's
fiberglass.
A lot of parts coming
peeling
off the car.
That, and that is less than ideal for Benke Bruhn. Right there at the pits, listening, there is a bit of scraping going on.
That's tough. That's not the way you want Unite to end.
That is rough, making all sorts of noises, so we'll find out where this leaves Bruhn in this battle for third.
Can he get back out there, or is this game over?
Just trying to listen in for the microphone. That'll be, I think that's Ben Hodges there. And problems, the helmet's coming off.
Oh, I'm on his door and then I can't get the car back. Wow, that was scary. I thought I was going to write your car.
That was scary is the word for anybody that didn't hear it. Straight out of the mouth of Benke Bruhn, saying that he was on the door of James Abbott and then the car just wouldn't come back.
And when somebody who can enter a car at 150 says it's scary, here we go.
Watch this, it's all going so well. James Abbott out in front. Bit curve there for Bruhn. And it wasn't until right about now that it went wrong. You saw the angle decrease there for Bruhn, and it just sends him out towards the bollards of that outer zone.
You can see where he's lost it. He's tried to bring it back. He's tried to come and finish the battle, and then all over.
That was a scary moment there as he's punted off into the weeds. Benke Bruhn, unfortunately, not going to finish this battle for third. That'll go to James Abbott, the Hi-Tec Blaze unit, who puts on a show to finish off his night.
Brings it home over the finish by himself.
Not how Abbott would have wanted that one to go. No doubt we'll hear from him. But here we go. Let's enjoy that solo as he hazes the bags one last time here at Queensland Raceway.
The track dried out for him so he can send it home for us.
Big clutch kick there on the run into the final sector. And living up to its name, the Blaze unit looking good.
Full power all the way across the line.
Look at the pace that Bruhn went off track with. Trying to see the doors crunched in. There's bodywork missing from the front bumper that got tucked in underneath. That is
brutal.
Tough.
Brutal.
Tough indeed, as only one battle left to throw down. Scott Shembry up against Ben Barnes. Barnes doesn't want to be the bridesmaid twice in a row. He wants to be the bride, damn it. And wants to take out a win here at round 2 after a runner-up position at Sydney Motorsport Park not too long ago. Scott Shembry out there putting the cook on those rears.
Those wastegates. The flames pumping out the bonnet. Here we go. Coming up to the start line. Shembry, he's ready to cook.
So, joined out there by Ben Barnes. Tyres are all warmed up, ready to go. Barnes looking to close tonight out with a bang.
What a night for Ben Barnes.
He has excelled. And that big win against Glen Ormerod on that one more time, that is going to mean a whole heap to him. Taking down a high-class A-grade drifter like Ormerod is not something to be done lightly.
That's quite the moment.
So Shembry not going to ease up on him at all. We'll see how they attack the initiation point, how early they'll be able to get these things thrown in, and how deep they can run into the first corner. This is your final battle here at the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars Round 2 at Queensland Raceway.
In the starting grid, ready to go, waiting for the call.
And still waiting.
Might be a bit of car on the track from that last incident.
Well, it's entirely possible that there are pieces of Zoo Performance Machine still scattered out there.
Here we go.
Let's send them. Ben Barnes is going to drop into the chase position.
Shembry in the lead. Big entry, strong initiation. He's got the angle there. He's got the power down. Let's go.
Yeah, big tighten up there from Ben Barnes in turn 1.
Shembry hanging it out wide. Little correction there. Big power as he comes into this last turn 6.
Here we go, through for the final sector. Barnes finally gets the proximity that he's been looking for and locks on.
There we go. Shembry giving him a push all the way.
Yeah, I just don't think that Barnes had it. Watch this moment here. Watch for Barnes. Picked out of the brake and then closes up the angle, shallows up, and really tries to get it right close to Shembry, but at the sacrifice of angle.
I think that has really messed up the start of his run there. Not being able to get that first entry, that first initiation right, and then having to try and bring back your rhythm. That's hard work.
Yeah, everything from the transition through to the end was fine after that outside zone, but Barnes potentially doing the damage there, and Shembry now just has to put down a clean chase and not get lost in the weeds, potentially to take out the win.
There we go. We've got a little bit more of that race car driver sign language we know and love.
It's a universal language, isn't it? You can understand it.
Too
even
much
if
lock.
You're not a driver.
I think you were saying there.
So Barnes looking for redemption, or will he take home second place for the second time in a row? Shembry's going to be doing absolutely everything he can to make that the case. This is the last lap that we'll see here tonight.
No mucking around, hammer down on the power. Big initiation is what we're looking for.
Barnes throws it in.
Oh.
Shembry right there with him.
Oh, wheel up.
Wheel up on the curve.
Power down, past the Zoo Performance. Here we go. We want to see these cars getting right out there. Oh, what is going on here?
Yeah,
is that Shembry pushing up almost in front?
So Shembry tucked right in, cranking on more angle as he chases. And that is a solid lap there. Ben Barnes did absolutely everything he could. Check this out, the commitment, dialing in even more angle, up on the curb.
And then just throwing it down. Here we go. Big switch here past the Zoo Performance. Right out into the clipping zone. And this is the spot. This is where we nearly had the overtake.
Here we go through that final sector. And it is foot to the firewall. Look at how much more angle Shembry was carrying on the exit of the layout there.
Little mungy to wind it out.
You have to. When you can, you absolutely have to. So, waiting for the results to drop on in, but a stellar performance there. Ben Barnes doing absolutely everything he could to try and close out on Scott Shembry. The judges will have the final say. Benke Brun and James Abbott battling it out for third place We'll have those results to you in just a moment as they make their way into Parc Fermé. There is such a thing here at drifting. George Gambino on the scene, marshalling the troops. There's a whole heap of Limmy there for that twin-turbo LS.
You're never late when you're on gate.
How good. Great to see so many of you down there and enjoying yourselves. Drifting is a sport best enjoyed in the company of others. And it looks like there's plenty enjoying themselves down here in pit lane at Queensland Raceway as the smoke starts to clear with a gentle breeze. It's been some tough conditions. I know that our audience, both here and online, are going to be hating us for talking about these changing track conditions and the effects that it was all going to have on the drivers of the competition. But truth be told, it really did throw the cat amongst the pigeons. There were some massive, massive moments there that were down to that moisture content out there on the layout. And I tell you what, everybody has done a fantastic job to put together the runs that they have.
Really has been a great night of drifting, because those changing conditions there through the middle of it, where there was no grip.
100%. Ben Barnes, one of our finalists, looking for that top spot, and our judges are going to give us info. There's a lot of activity there and chatter over the airwaves that potentially there's a one more time.
What is going on here? Because this is fast movement in the pits. There's something, yeah, they're getting ready.
So this is it. The aim of the game now is to cool these cars down as quickly as humanly possible, potentially get them fueled if they need it. As the frenzy continues, Teagues, you're on the scene.
Yeah, well, I thought we were setting up for the podium, so the cars had backed up against the wall, and I thought we were done, ready to go, but then suddenly it was frantic. Everyone's getting told to get out of the way, and the cars started to go back forwards there, and the judges shouted one more time. So we are going to see Scott Shembry versus Ben Barnes one more time. We've seen this in the opener, the first round at Sydney Motorsports Park. Ben Barnes involved in that one with James Addett. Now we get to see it all over again with Scott Shembry and Ben Barnes. This is going to be cool.
Unreal times as the Hi-Tec Oils Blaze Unit crew go to work. And this is a frenzy. They need to get these cars ready to drift as short as humanly possible. Scotty looking perplexed up here in race control. Man, oh man, a one more time is one thing. But a one more time on the final?
None of us were ready for that.
Absolutely
we were done.
not.
We were starting to fold things up.
I don't know if I've got a one more time in me, man.
Yeah.
It has been a massive weekend. I don't know about you, but I don't know how these guys feel. They must be almost as cooked as some of our crew members out there. Look at the flurry. How good is the drone for getting that inside line on what's going on?
The call of one more time, though, I just didn't see that coming.
Absolutely not. Look, again, it's not our job to speculate, but I thought that Shembry had that one in the bag. So, it's going to go down to a nail-biter. And look at it.
That crew, they are working overtime.
We're all
ready to pack it up.
I was going to say organised chaos. There was nothing organised about that. Scott Shembry, the only cool head amongst the crew, but somehow amongst the chaos, they've got the job done. A couple of wise words of encouragement from James Abbott through the window there, and just priming him, just getting him ready. The hatch about to be closed on the 350Z.
And then we are on. We're going to see these cars back out on track.
They'll have a fresh pair of Tri-Ace tyres. Tyre of choice for our Drift All-Stars.
Here we are checking the tyre pressures. Letting the air out.
Yeah, so wanting maximum grip, the maximum footprint to give that twin-turbo LS the most chance possible to convert power into traction.
Well, none of us were ready for this.
Absolutely not. Shembry getting himself in the zone. There's Sam Mudge. Unfortunately bowing out to the onslaught that was Benke Brune, giving him some words of encouragement. You know who we need to bring the vibe up? We need Benke. Where's Benke?
Where is Benke? Send him to the commentary box. Well, we've got Chembry here ready to go. He's warming himself up. He's got the mow brush, the helmet on. He's ready to throw out.
Here we go, making his way out towards pit exit. And it's claps all round from the crew. A hard job, but well executed to get him turned around in the 350 to head out for this one more time. Now, Ben Barnes, our season rookie, and if you had to describe the upcoming battle, how would you really sort of pick it? Try and put yourself inside the helmet of these two.
There's only one way to put it. The gloves are off.
Absolutely. These two really looking to finish with a bang. Chembry surges out onto track like a man on a mission in the Hi-Tec Oils Nissan 350.
I think he's pretty happy to get to give it one more time. He's going to be leaving everything out there on the track. You can see it in the way he's even taking it out there.
So this is it. We thought we had a result. We thought we were waiting for that call. Ben Barnes heading on out in that S13.
Here we go. One more time. Ben Barnes back out on track. Chembry, he's already round there. He's going to be warming it up. Barnes v Chembry, one more time. What a night.
How good. We thought we had it all sealed up, and we're just waiting for that call. So Chembry moving into the tyre warm-up area.
Giving that Hi-Tec Oils 350Z one more punch. Couple more of those wastegate flames for us.
It's the big ones on decel as he comes in towards the line. Those are the big fluffy ones that I like.
Here we go. He's starting to get a little bit of temperature into those tyres. You can see the smoke starting to peel off it.
He's had a massive night of drifting here. Ben Barnes moves into the tyre warm-up zone.
Tell you what, I am expecting to see some pretty aggressive driving on these final runs.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Do you hold back and hope that you're... No, I can't even believe the words that are coming out of my mouth. I was about to say, do you hold back and wait for your opponent to make the first mistake? You can't afford to do that in drifting. You have to be on full attack 100% of the time. That is exactly the way that both of these drivers are actually going to approach this.
And this is how it's going to happen. You've got to give it everything, and you've got to send it.
You can't tiptoe around the subject here.
Full noise.
The first to blink is going to be the first loser.
Indeed. Full noise, full power. Send it.
Well, there you go. We thought that it was done, so we took away the scaffold at the start.
The tower's already down, but hey, now we're back out there on comms, and we're going to switch over into the starter's hands.
Well, it's hands down and away we go. Scott Chembry leads us out.
Chembry in the lead. He's going to be giving it everything here. Massive entry. Big power. Look at him holding that angle. Look at the smoke coming on. I saw a little jump there as well.
Untidy from Ben Barnes as he tags an inside front on the curve, but manages to resurrect it. Holds in tight through the outside zone.
Chembry's got it dialed in here. Power down. Look at that flame coming out of those wastegates.
Look at the smoke pouring off the tyres there for both of our drivers. Chembry is going to feel quietly confident after that. Look for this moment here from Ben Barnes. Dials in the angle and really pulls the tyre across the curve.
Totally misses that there, takes it off-road, and Chembry just shows it how it's done.
Where I was sitting and what I was seeing, Chembry looking good. Barnes did absolutely everything he could with that early mistake.
That early mistake, that's the one that will upset the whole run.
So we'll reset them and see where it all pans out.
Boy,
this one is the last run.
This is the last run. Boy, oh boy.
We maybe jumped the gun last time.
What a night.
So Ben Barnes, eager to get this show on the road.
Let's see what Shembry can do. He is going to have to be up all over him, see if he can force a mistake, but just don't know. I think Barnes could actually really send it.
Shembry brings the Nissan up to the line.
That burble.
Oh yeah, that sound. So Barnes locked in and waiting. He is ready, and we are too.
Let's go. Let's see if Barnes can wind it up. We are looking for the biggest entry of the night. Can he do it? That's a big entry. Oh! What is going on here? Barnes. Shembry is off track. Barnes is just sending it home by himself.
Great late transmission.
And what a drive.
Parks it on the concrete through that final sector, and Ben Barnes has amazingly, I am stunned for words at how this has all played out.
Here we go, tri-ace replay, let's see it, giving it everything.
Shembry just couldn't get the car slowed up.
And then Barnes walks it home.
This is great, and look, it's hard to tell if he knew that Shembry was there or not, but what a great way to finish.
Shembry was all over him there. He was really getting ready to... And then Shembry just walked it out. And this is what we were talking about, 100%. Had to give it everything. And he's buried.
Look at the eyes through that slit in the visor. Scott Shembry is not a happy camper.
Oh no, he is beached. They're having to pull him out of there.
Making sandcastles in turn one was not how he wanted his night to end. Scott Shembry, unfortunately, out in the gravel trap. But Ben Barnes, what a run through there. A little bit untidy, but I have to say, look, the level of competition has been crazy tonight, Scott.
This is just wild. This has been just so unexpected. I could see Shembry having just walked it home there, and that little mistake.
Yeah,
that little mistake.
Professional drifting, just super unforgiving here.
Well, as we said, they've left it all on the track. There was nothing left in that one.
So Ben Barnes will now park up and await the result.
There we go. Take two.
And this was not the way that I expected our final battle. Look at all the gravel pouring out of the front clip as Shembry hits the 350 with the angry stick.
Gives it one for the fans, but he picked up a little bit of gravel there.
Just a bit. Look at the flames out the wastegate.
We'll give him that moment of glory because that beach moment, that's not what any of us want.
That'll be a moment he would rather forget. As Ben Barnes just taking a breather after a crazy night of competition.
Big smile on his face there. No matter what, he has enjoyed his night out. Look at that.
So we'll wait for the official result, and we'll give it to you as soon as it becomes available. Tough night. Our battle for third place between James Abbott and Benke Bruhn. Those results will be coming up soon, but with Benke Bruhn and his off-track excursion, you would just about have to say that that is signed, sealed and delivered.
I know we're not allowed to speculate, but might have to hazard a guess. We can see Shembry here just rolling up pit lane into our park for me.
The rain falling from the sky, and Shembry joining our podium area as we're about to give that final result. The helmet's off.
There you go. Big round of applause.
It's moments like these you really appreciate just how much steering angle they have at their disposal. The wise fab in the front end, the Nissan, that trademark blue just peeking out, not full lock.
And just a few bearings for the crowd. Look, the man's still got a smile on his face, even when he sent it into the gravel on that last run. There you go, that camaraderie in the pits.
They'll share a cuddle.
Oh, nice one, fellas.
The Hi-Tec Blaze unit finding themselves finishing in the top four here at round two.
Smiles all round.
Ben Barnes is trying to soak it all in.
What a night. That is an interesting little headlight there that we've noticed. Was that a...
Yes, that was a battery-operated work light.
Just checking.
Cable tied into the front grille of Ben Barnes.
Innovation.
As we get set, it has been a massive, massive night of competition as we head on down for the final results.
Well, that is round 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Star Series done and dusted. Just about ready to get set for the podium, but before we do get into that, one of our many people who is here every single round at Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars is none other than Flash Smith. Now, unfortunately, Flash Smith is going to have to take a bit of a step away from competition while he goes through a bit of illness, but we hope to see him back very, very soon. As Flash starts to come up, we'd like to hand him a little bit of token of our appreciation.
There you go. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Flash. Taking a bit of a step away, and we just wanted to say a huge thank you from Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, I love coming here. I just love Hi-Tec, I love the crowd, love all the people. I like some of the competitors. Like Jabs is good, and Shemby's all right. And yeah, so they're pretty good, and it's heaps of fun. But yeah, we'll come back next year, bigger and stronger. And now that I'm on the big boy tyres, oh yeah, they're awesome. They're all those Tri-Ace. Let me get a plug in. Tri-Ace, awesome. Yeah, so good.
All right, well done. Now, moving on, we will get 4th place up here. A man who has enjoyed his night. He's been the happiest man in the pits. Comes away with a 4th place, but you still can't wipe that smile off your face.
No, not at all, man. I'm incredibly happy. Like, this has been a dream of mine for a long time to be able to, like, show my skills at Hi-Tec. But to be able to drive with, like, 3 dudes that I've idolised for a really long time. Like, Jabber's been a hero of mine for a really long time. So Shembry, and, like, they're both good mates of mine. And then Mudge is a good mate of mine, and he's a dude that I've wanted to drive with because we're both RB20 boys forever. And we've never had an opportunity. So to get him was sensational. Like, I've got to thank my team. I've never had a more supportive team than the boys at Kevin Bell and Drift Japan. Like, Russell and Ben are amazing, man. Like, I've never driven this car before. I had a horrible day yesterday. I had a horrible day in practice today. Just didn't feel comfortable at all. And that first chase against Mudge, oh, it was brilliant. So I'm chuffed, man. Like, I also got to thank Sim Magic and Sim Rigs. If it wasn't for my sim today, the sim really, I spent like an hour on it before today. Mate. Oh.
All right, well done. 4th place. You take it away as a win. Benkai Broom. All right, now, on our final step of the podium tonight, not where we wanted to be, but still happy nonetheless. Let's get James Abbott up here. James, didn't get to finish off the full battle. You came away with 3rd place. Got to still be happy with the car and how it performed tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we did a tough tonight. Made it real hard on my team. We had a big crash in practice, and you know, don't know how I got to 3rd. I don't think I did my best driving by any means, but I'll definitely take 3rd. A couple of championship points, and I just really got to thank the team for every time I came in with more problems, they were straight on it and get me back out there as quick as possible. Obviously, Hi-Tec Oils for getting me here in the first place, and Tri-Ace tyres. So we'll take these points, and we'll probably have to try to clean it up a bit for round 3 and get back up there.
All right, James. Well, great to see that you're on 3rd place.
Can I also just give a shout out to Benky? He was on fire all day today, and I was really looking forward to that battle, and it's unfortunate the way it went. That would have been a good close battle. I think he was doing really well.
All right, well done. A good sportsman too. And 2nd place tonight, we'll get him up here for a quick chat. Scotty Shembry. Yeah! Not the way you wanted to end tonight. Unfortunate there, we had a one more go, and I thought the Mo flick was going to come in handy and get you up there, but 2nd on the step, still not too bad.
Yeah, look, everyone's here for a show, so I thought, I put out probably the best lead run I've done all weekend, and then Benny's pretty quick, but I thought, you know, if I get some more style points, I'll throw a backie on his door. And unfortunately, power steering locked on and sent me into the sand. But look, killer weekend out here. Just want to thank Hi-Tec Oils for putting it on, all our team for getting back all the boys on the podium. Well done to Benny Boy over there in a borrowed car. So look, we'll move on to the next round. Second place is still good. First place qualifier. And thanks for everyone watching.
All right, thanks, Scott Shembry. Now, your first place for round 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars. Give it up for Ben Barnes. Oh, Ben, you must be absolutely chuffed with that one. I reckon that smile on your face is going to be still there long into Sunday.
Oh yeah, probably. It's going to be hard to wipe it off. No, we had a pretty tough time going through. Alternator shut itself, and I had like no charge throughout like the whole night. It was a big rush. I got to thank all of my guys for helping me. I had so many people just coming in, like lending a hand, changing tyres. Could not do it without those guys. It was just so sick. Drifting atmosphere is something else. It's so good.
Well done. Well, we look forward to seeing you back in round 3. We'll get the podium back up here and throw back up to the commentary box.
Thanks, Teagues, and hard fought and well earned for our podium recipients. It's been a massive round 2 here at Queensland Raceway for the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars. From myself and Scotty, we wish you a warm good night. We couldn't have done it without you, the drivers, and of course the fans. Make sure you keep an eye on the socials for the upcoming round of the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Stars. Good night.